A Torah in 2 minutes-ish. It is just about Passover. And, one of the key parts of the Haggadah, people skip over. I know that because I picked up this Haggadah, the official conservative movement one. I picked it up used, and whoever owned it before me has an X through the part of the Seder where the key line from the Torah is read, meaning that X, that whoever, led the Seder with this was like, ugh, this is totally one of the parts that you skip. This is just the boring part. I want to stop and consider whether or not it's really the boring part. The Haggadah doesn't really have the story of the Exodus in it. It doesn't include the story. Famously, there's barely a mention of Moshe in the Haggadah, and you can't tell the story without Moses, right? So the closest the Haggadah gets is really here. It's a line from the book of Deuteronomy. It's from the Torah, not from the book of Exodus. And it's what was said by people when they were supposed to go to the temple and offer their first fruits, the beginning of the harvest. It says, consider these verses. It's hard to translate this, but this is a nice translation. It says, my father was a wandering Aramean, and with just a few people he went down to Egypt, to Mitzrayim, and sojourned there. And there he became a great nation, mighty and numerous. The Egyptians dealt harshly with us and oppressed us, and they imposed hard labor upon us. We cried out, Adonai, God of our ancestors, and Adonai heard our plea and saw our affliction, our misery, and our oppression. And Adonai took us out of Mitzrayim with a mighty hand and outstretched arm, with awesome power, with signs and wonders. Now, why use that? There are lots of different ways to tell the story. Why does the Haggadah choose that line from Deuteronomy, not something from Exodus, not something that really gives the whole drama? It has this sort of odd passage as the way to tell the story. And I hadn't thought of this before this year, but I listened to a talk from Machon Hadar in New York City from Rabbi Ethan Tucker, and he highlights the key words in here, and I'm just going to lift his bit because I thought it was brilliant. Why this story? Why this passage, not something else? Because of the key words in it. My, our, us, 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 our. What is this saying? It says that the story of the Exodus is our story. It's not something that happened long ago. It is something that we are supposed to feel is present in our lives. It's ours. Jews, I think, a lot of times use ironic distance to distance ourselves from things that have the power to transform us. We talk about the history of something, or we'll make a joke, or it'll just be Jewish Thanksgiving, or it'll be they tried to kill us, we won less to eat. But when we see it not as a joke, not as just a historical reenactment, but as something that's part of our own story, part of us, I think that's transformative. And this Pesach, we really should strive to make sure that the core of the story is our story, not somebody else's, but feel like it's yours. Chag Sameach.